you apologised after last week's game. I mean, how do you avoid a repeat this week? Because obviously nobody wants that.
We just do our work and hopefully the players turn up and perform better than we did last week, and put the practices that we've put into the training ground, on the training ground, out there and make sure we're better than we were. We started well for 20 minutes, but once we conceded, we were disappointing. So, as a footballer, that happens. Me and Neil have been talking about it. And you're just on to the next one, and you work. We were in Sunday. We've had a longish week. We've been trying to improve. We knew things needed to improve in all departments. We probably didn't expect a performance like we got last Saturday. But they're professional. They're good players. They're good people. They've worked hard, and hopefully we'll be able to put it right.
And what's the focus been on in training this week to try and sort of prevent that?
You at the game, everything. Yeah, defending, how we play, tempo, everything. If we do concede or do things don't go for us, having that, and we've had it and we've shown it in the past, and we showed it 2 weeks ago against Crawley, that you can't just crumble, you can't just accept things. You've got to make things happen for yourselves, and good teams do that. And we did it against Crawley. We didn't do it against Plymouth, and that was the disappointing thing. But like I said, in a 46 game season, things move quickly. You play Saturday, all right, we've had a good week on the training ground, but you're always thinking about your next game.
Did the video nasty bring out anything you didn't know at 5 o'clock on Saturday?
Not really, just confirmed one or two things, and people have seen it on the video, and we've also put it out on the pitch and sort of tried to put it right. So people made basic errors, and you can't legislate for that sometimes. If people are going to make as many basic errors as we did last week, you get beat. So it doesn't happen too often. Last season we only got beat 10 times, twice at home, and then the second and the third game. So we're on something like a 22 game streak of unbeaten home games. So perhaps we were due it. Hopefully it's got it all out of the way and won it, and hopefully we can be better starting Saturday.
And you go to a team against whom you had that similar sort of reaction to have to overcome last year with Accrington, and I suppose that just sort of hammers it home, doesn't it?
Accrington, we've had a couple of funny results up there. We've had a couple of good ones. New manager this season. We've got to go and make sure that we've got to look after ourselves. We've got to worry about them. We've got to make sure that we know their strengths. We try and identify maybe a weakness or two, but we've got to go and play our game. We've got to go and just prove to ourselves, to everybody, that last Saturday was a one-off. And
both teams looking for the first win. Can you do to them what Plymouth did to you last week? The pressure's on them as the home team, isn't it?
Of course we can. But all of a sudden Plymouth are going to get promoted, so maybe it weren't a bad result. Listen, it's early in. We're disappointed with our start. We're quite pleased with some of the performances. Obviously last Saturday, obviously not.
Craig Brown-Barrett's signed now proper full-time Cheltenham player rather than just on loan. How pleased are you to get him your player?
Good work from Paul and the board. I think it was, I think he's shown qualities already over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and we just talked about securing him for longer rather than being in a predicament in January if Macclesfield all of a sudden changed their mind. So it made sense really.
And Stephen Gillespie, how much better will he be for a full week's training, knowing that he's got a game at the end of it?
Well, hopefully he can. If he's anywhere near last week and he's improved fitness-wise and sharpness-wise, then if he plays, we should have a good player up there. He was our best player last weekend, so just more of the same from him and more of the boys getting up to his level.
And Terry Gornell, how's his groin?
He's got a chance. He's trained most of the week. We'll see how he is today. No reaction from yesterday, and we'll go from there.
Because to have him back, it just sort of makes the whole options that you've got a lot stronger, doesn't it?
I think we missed him last week. I think when you've got Curitan and Gornell out, you are missing 2 of your key players, 2 big players that were brought in. But that doesn't mean the rest can fold like we did tamely in that 20-minute spell at the end of the first half.
You said a couple of weeks ago, Jamie probably thinks 2 or 3 weeks he'll be back. Is he starting to be a pain yet?
Yep. Not for me. Wes, I think Wes has had enough of him. He wants to be penciled in for the Bury game in some way. I think ideally he'd like West Ham. He's not far away, Jamie. He went up for an injection the other day. He's had some tests on it. He's looking fit and strong. Hopefully we can see him on the training ground the next week or two.
Fingers crossed. Any other worries?
No.
And obviously you had the friendly against Kidderminster. Were there people there who impressed you? Because obviously there was the opportunities.
Yeah, of course there were. It was some decent performances. And we'll just see where we go Saturday.
Thank you, good luck.
Cheers.
No, because it was basic errors, too many of them that cost you. Do you think it's more about the same people doing a different job, or do you think there do need to be changes?
We'll see. Listen, I know where I'm going, John. I'm not going to give anything away. I haven't told any of the players what I'm doing yet. We'll work on a few things. I'll pick a team tomorrow night, and tomorrow I'll have it in mind. I know what I'm doing. We'll work on it. I'm not going to tell the players until Friday night or Saturday. I think one or two of them need to be, a little bit worried about their places, and if that brings out the best of them, then great.
It's never been a G.
Sometimes I tell them the team on a Thursday or whatever, and we work at it. I think everyone has a right to think they might be involved, and we're going to work on a few things. Although I've got a team in my head, and see what I see out there today or whatever might influence that again. We've got to keep working. We've got to keep drilling things in at the moment, and they'll be all right.
Yeah, you haven't lost at home in the league for a long time before Saturday, but when you have had a bad day at the office, you haven't very often had two in a row, have you? There has been a good response.
Yeah, there has. Yeah, so we've got to make sure that it's no good talking about what's happened in the past. We've got to make sure that we put it into practice this weekend. We've tough place to go. They, like ourselves, haven't had the best of starts. Both teams will be desperate for those 3 points, and we've got to make sure that we're more desperate than they are.
Yeah, Craig Brown-Barrett, he's 25, but he's still quite raw, really.
Yeah,
he started in the league.
Yeah, he does a lot of things really well. I think his performance on Saturday was just typical of the group that played. I think I've been really pleased with Craig's application and quality and defensive duties and getting forward. His whole game really. And then I thought on Saturday he was as bad as everyone. So with certain things we've got to work on him, but he's a late. He's getting a chance later in his career, if you like, and I'm sure his attitude has been superb, and he's been good this week. Hopefully he can kick on.
Yeah, you're going up overnight. It's a long trip, isn't it?
Yeah.
How much will that help with the?
Yeah, it should do. Yeah, we've got 3 tough away games in 8 days, so we have to go up and we have to do everything properly. It's a fair trip. It's not. We could do it in a day, but with when you plan and prepare for the rest of the week, then we just to give ourselves a chance as well. In all 3 games, we're going up Friday.
Yeah, you still looking at Callum Morris, or has that come to an end now?
No.
He did all right, didn't he? But
yeah, he did all right, but is he going to play? I need people who are going to go straight in my team. If I'm going to bring people in, I need people who are going to go straight in my team.
Yeah, I know it's early days and he's only just played 1 game, Stephen Gillespie, but do you think there's any chance of
We'll see.
Of extending?
Listen, we'll see.